think I'm ready to have a go at the preservation. So I've got super glue. I'm going to clean up that hollow, and then I'm going to see if Harry Harrington is right. Okay, so I've got to clean out that. It's got all sorts of gunk in it. Just try and keep those branches away. I think I'm going to come down here and open up to there. So I need to mark that. That's quite thick. Could come from the back. A lot of the lower branches are sprouting leaves. I noticed the top, unfortunately, isn't. And there's a lot of buds coming from these junctions, which tells me it's going to throw these branches. But again, I've seen buds come from what looks like dead on birch, but this summer has really done for some of the trees in this country, certainly in this garden. Luckily I know the roots are good because I had a whole profuse set of budding coming from here, which is another reaction from the tree to say I've lost all this leaf structure up here, I need leaves and stuff to get my energy for the winter. Anyway, I'm going to zone in on there and let's start getting some work done. Okay, so I still haven't decided whether I'm going to come in from the front or the back. I've realised this branch may actually end up being lost and the front could be the other way around, but for ease of access, all I want to do now is use this nice sharp tool to clean out all the leaves. To be honest, it wouldn't surprise me, it's spiders and all sorts taking that stuff down. It's actually going down. The hollow goes down to about here. So that's done away with that idea. I don't think I'm going to be cutting right down there. Just trying to get rid of what stuff is I can get to. And the nice thing is all this bit around here is quite solid, so, but it is right down the centre. Down to here. Makes me wonder whether I'd drill a hole just about there. I don't know. It's good I found my old woodworking tools in the end. Mark 1 screwdriver always works. And the whole idea with this is once you get rid of all this stuff, the finger gets sucked in. Yeah, once you basically get all this loose stuff out, then there's moss in there and everything. Yeah, there's something living down there, or there was. Then you flood it apparently with cyanoacrylate, super glue, and that I don't know how it's going to work with this, to be honest. I know some of the answers are to use epoxies and putties at the bottom. A lot of dust coming out the bottom here. Partly's wondering about turning it over. In the end, for all those fancy woodworking tools, you can't beat a screwdriver. So I'm going to keep cleaning this out until I've got everything out, and then I'll come back to you. Just come back to you because the other thing not to be afraid to is when you've got all these power tools out and you're determined you want to use them for a job, and then you look at the job and realise that maybe you just don't need them. I mean, I'm certainly not going to cut that open. I had a look just there and that's all nice live vein tissue, so I'm not convinced I want to do anything with that. It's so deep that, well, I'm not sure whether the method I have is going to work, but I'm going to try it because Harry Harrington says to try, but I'm not convinced if he didn't know entirely what was going on. So I'll put the super glue down there, but all I'm going to do is just use the sanding ball just to sand on the insides of this. So that's what I will do with the power tool. That's nice. So the issue that's been actually taxing me then is how to get the dust out of there. And I want to get as much out as I possibly can, and I haven't got one of those small little vacuums which would do it instantly. So it's about improvising. Johnson's Baby Buds, good for babies, good for trees, and a bit of water. So I'm just going to be damping down the bud and just pulling out as much dust as I possibly can with that before I go for the cyno. So here we go. Okay, I don't think you need to see all of that, so I'll come back to you when that's done. Okay, so here we go. Got some Gorilla Superglue, Impact Tough formula, 15 grams, contains ethyl cyanoacrylate. And so looking at the video, which I'm probably carding about now, says tipping on himself, you just dribble this liberally all around the area that you want to, harden up, and it will stay running until it hits somewhere dry, I think. Is that moisture? Anyway, it goes through the wet layers or whatever, and then as soon as it hits dry, it hardens. So that, or it's the other way around, in which case it'll be a little better saying. You spread it all around, it will go to the depth of the dampest part and then harden. And that should give you a relatively watertight hardened bond. So here I go. Superglue is exactly that. So I don't know any of you guys remember being younger and doing the old superglue test on your fingers. I certainly remember doing it with my sister. Don't do it, so be careful with it. And ideally downwind, try to hold your breath while you're doing it, because the cyanoacrylate fumes themselves can actually cause issues if you start getting into the habit of breathing. And I won't go any further than that. Apparently you can do it on exposed roots. No, sorry, you can't do it. It's not that you can do it on exposed roots, but if you've got roots that you've got hardwood or that have got exposed bits on them. What I'm doing now at the moment is just making sure all the super glue is going to surface. It's a bit of a shine there, but apparently that weathers off. Now, clearly the main aim of that is to harden right down the bottom. I already gave those a light sand here, but as the cyanoacrylate sets against the moisture, it's supposed to do a hardened skin. That's pretty well it for that on this one. Gorilla Superglue, 101 uses, including cynoing your tree. What I will also do is I'll put a bit of lime sulphur around the edges here at a later stage. But yeah, that should be it. And I'm going to let this one go in the corner for now, and hopefully that's going to stop the hollow getting any deeper. Say the original plan was to open it up, but as I say, it's all the way down there, so I'm not going to open it up that far. Yeah, so that wasn't exciting. I didn't find it exciting. I got a splinter. I can't see that it's worked, but I have to assume it has, because Harry Harrington would never lie to us, you know that. And if you're watching and you're telling porkies, now I'm sure you only gave information based on what I told you. Yeah, so we'll see. In fact, the thing about it is I probably won't know for years. And it may well be that if that's hardened, there's part of it that's going, I could double edge this and actually put a nice bit of resin putty or something. You just mix two of them together. I might dump it down the bottom, because once I know that the bottom's sealed and hardened, then it's not going to rot from below. Maybe I can then put that down, but yeah, that's it. Yeah, So from Xavier down the bottom of the garden with his cyanoacrylate Gorilla Glue, I'll say cheers. Okay, through the magic of incredible cinematography, can't believe I just said that, well I've actually taken 4 attempts to say that, we are miraculously 2 days later, and now we're going to do what I thought I was going to do there, which is a bit of hardwood filling. Completely sealed, but as I say, I came in this morning, I'm not joking, there were birds poking their beaks into there and giving themselves a little wash. So I had a little bit of research, and in this instance, because it's so deep, the superglue's done the right thing and it's hardened it completely on the inside. So I'm just going to put some straightforward filler. Ronseal high performance wood filler. It does exactly what it says on the tin. Yeah, so following the instructions there, you've got to wear gloves while you're doing it. You mustn't do it inside. Any wood repairs indoors and outdoors, don't use in gaps between floorboards. No floorboards there. So I am literally going to fill that up. I'm going to make a golf ball size amount. I don't know how sticky this is. Does that look like a golf ball size amount? Oh, I remember that smell from the days when I used to do aero modelling. Oh, lovely. No, I didn't say that. Right, so that's... And then you've got to do a pea size amount of hardener into that. How do I know what a pea is? Oh, I see. Yeah. That looks like a pea. So we mix it all up. Stinks, this stuff. Okay, lovely brown colour. Now the art is going to be to get that in there without getting it all around the tree. Look, all that lovely little buds coming out of that is telling me that it knows that's dead up there, but it needs more leaves. So anyway, let's carefully I think I need to do it in little bits. I will be able to sand off, I know, from the side. Apparently it takes about 30 minutes to set. I think I mixed up too much. Oh my gosh, I didn't realise how fat that makes me look. See, the good thing is I know once it's set hard, I will actually be able to drill out a little bit if I want it to be just a little bit deeper. I can stain it. It's a dark brown at the moment, but I can actually stain it if I actually want it to be. Well, that's setting hard nicely now. Okay, so that's all applied. Just so you got an idea what it looks like. Looking from above, which is the only place you could look, it's that brown stuff. It's nice and hard in there. I've just brushed away a bit with a toothbrush, but in a couple of days I'll probably just get some sandpaper or light sanding just to sand it down a little bit, and then it'll either fade or I can put a little bit of stain on it, but the main thing there is no more water's getting into that. Right, and just the next thing I'm going to do now is put a little bit of cyanoacrylate on this, which is what was originally going to be doing anyway, because I want to harden all this off. If that's something I want to still drill through and break more of, I can. But the key here there is you don't want it dribbling everywhere, so, and as I say, if it'll be a little bit glossy, but just want to do this bit here because I don't want any of this to break off now. and all you do is use a little bit of wire wool, and that will take that gloss off, but weathering over time will do that as well. Not worried so much down there, it's just the effort I've put up here. Mind you, if you don't like it and you'll think, oh, I want that to break. Let's just harden off this top section. And as I say, I mean, weathering on this, the rain would most definitely want to wreak a bit of havoc with it. And looking, I mean, for those of you who've seen that appeal I did for what to do with my juniper, and I know on one of those the root is pretty rotten through, and apparently the demonstration that Harry Harrington does of this process, he actually uses the root of a rotting juniper, root, and uses that as an example of how you can use the super glue to preserve the existing tissue, harden it off so it doesn't rot anymore. And in that case, that would probably work really well with that project. And obviously, the only thing I didn't mention is that the temperature for this to work ideally, I mean, this is great time to be doing it, is it shouldn't be really under 10 degrees. So apparently it goes in a opaque sort of cloudy when it dries. Must be the reaction it has. And just to confirm again, the reaction takes place when it hits moisture. So it'll just keep draining down until it actually gets to moisture, which is something dead. That could be quite a way actually. Yeah, so that's, and the whole idea what I've done here is because I want to preserve these tips, I want them to stay hard, and I want to see those jagged edges. Now I may still, with that being hard, I may still do some further drilling and really hollow out and do an awful lot more to this, but I won't do it today. I just want to make sure I finish this process off. So that's the cyanoacrylate, how and when it works, how you get rid of the glossy look to it, and then how I use it in conjunction with a filler. Basically that was all the filler I put in there. Just a little seam there, look, with an open seam, that could potentially be a place where water was able to go down and rot from inside, and that's what I'm trying to prevent. I don't want all this work to be wasted. So, it's done. So, that's the end of my Deadwood preserving and working with it. I mean, obviously there's a lot more comprehensive work you can do, a lot more tools and nibblers and all sorts of things that really churn out, and I've no doubt that if Tony hasn't already done so, he's probably going to be doing something like that. Apart from that, I think actually that's going to be it for this little group. So there's 3. So I've done a little thing on gins, done a bit on preserving and filling an uro, a hollow, and also just creating really simplistic Deadwood bits on trunk, Shari work, and how to keep it that way. So hopefully too much of this doesn't end up on the editing floor, and I wish you all the best. God bless, happy bonsaiing. Cheers.